Okay, now we're going to take a look at when the lead coefficient is not equal to 1, the value of a. These are a little bit more involved, and we have to do some grouping. Okay, so this is the idea of grouping that we can start with, where I'm going to take these first two and I'm going to say they're partners, and I'm going to take these second two and I'm going to say they're partners. This is the skill that we'll be involved with. And then I'm going to factor the greatest common factor out of both of them. Take an x out, I'm left with 2y minus 7. 2y minus 7, not 2y minus 7x. Geez. So the whole reason we took that out. Unbelievable. First mistake of the year. Okay. And now we want to. There's nothing to take out of these. Sometimes when they're prime like that, I like to take a 1 out just because that you're not actually taking a 1 out. That's a little awkward, but that's what you do. Now you have two terms. You have a term here, and we have a term here, and both of those terms have the 2y minus 7. And now I take that out, and I'm left with x. And I take that out, and I'm left with 1. And if you think about multiplying this whole thing back there and this whole thing back there, you get the same thing, okay? So here, well, this one's a little bit different in that we have an m and a k and then an m and a nothing and then the k is on the end. I would regroup these. I'd kind of do the 2mk minus 12m, and then I would do the minus 7k and then the 42. So I have the k term and then no k and a k term and then no k. That's a good idea. Okay, so I group here. Whenever I have a negative there, I always include that in the group and make it a plus. Okay, that's going to be important down the road. Now I'm going to factor these two separately. So I've got a 2m can come out, and I have a k minus 6. And then I'm going to factor this negative 7 out of here, and I'm left with k minus 6. And they always kind of work themselves out, especially when we get into the factoring of the trinomials. So now I have two terms again. I have this term and I have this term. And I'm going to take a k minus 6 out, and I'm going to be left with 2m from this one, because that k minus 6 came out. And this comes out, and I'm left with minus 7. And there's your answer. Same idea here. Again, I have an a term and then an ab term, and then a b term is right there. I'd maybe spin these around. Let's maybe spin these first two around. Negative 3ab plus 15a plus 4b minus 20. So I like to get them so they kind of associate properly. And now I'm gonna factor this. I'm gonna take a negative 3a out, and I'm gonna be left with b plus 5. And then I'm gonna take a 4 out, and I'm gonna be left with b. Oh, that should have been. I made a mistake. Holy cow! Unbelievable. This should have been a minus. Hey, I took out a. It's almost like I made that mistake on purpose. Good one. Take out. If I take a negative out of that positive, that needs to be a minus. And then this is minus 5. And now I can take a b minus 5 out of both of them, and I'm left with negative 3a plus 4. Yeah, right on. Most of ours are going to be lined up nicely before we start. Here's my two groups on this one. Even if you didn't notice that right away, you would get it after your second step. And I'd get 2x. Not a 5, that should be a 2. Jeez, holy cow. Stay hot. Unbelievable. Get a problem right. Okay, let's change colors because that's gonna fix me. All right. Okay, I'm taking a 2x out, and I have 5x minus 4. And I'm taking a 7 out, I have 5x minus 4. So I'm factoring them both separately. And then you'll always see these. It's nice that 5x minus 4 comes out front, and I have 2x plus 7. And there's my two terms. Okay, we are going to, remember, factoring is rewriting multiplication. We're going to use grouping when the lead coefficient is not 1. So yesterday we did some stuff that looked like this. X squared I don't know, plus 8x plus 15. And this lead coefficient was 1. So all I had to do was say, what do you multiply for 15 and add for 8? And it's 3 and 5. And it was really pretty easy and probably pretty fast. Now we're going to have something different. We're going to have the lead coefficient is not 1. So now instead of the factors of C, we have the factors of A times C, which is 50. But I'm still looking for a sum of 27. What are factors of 50 that add up to 27? Yes, 2 and 25. Could have been 1 and 50, could have been 5 and 10, but again, we want that 27. Here's the kicker, people. I'm going to rewrite this 5x squared plus 27x plus 10. Instead of 27, I'm going to use 2x plus 25x. 5x squared plus 2x plus 25x plus 10. That's the big move right there. That is the big move, because what I've done here is I have simply changed 27 into 2 plus 25. So really it's taking a trinomial and writing it as a 4-termed polynomial. And now as we continue on, now I will group and I will group. And this is where out of the first one I can take an x out and I have 5x plus 2. Out of the second one I take out a 5 and I have, wait for it, 5x plus 2. Is that magic? Nope. Better than magic. It's math. And now out of both of those comes 5x plus 2. And if I take that out, I'm left with an x. And if I take that out, I'm left with a 5. How do you check your work? Boil it back together. 5x squared plus 25x plus 2x. Hey, that's that 25 and 2. That's that 27. And then I get plus 10. And it works every time. You do want to be aware that not all of them, just because they start with a lead term the lead term is not 1, you want to do GCF first. Okay? So I'm going to do 4 times x squared plus 6x plus 8. Well, look how fast this goes now. I don't have to do this process. I can do this. So you always want to check. Don't make your life hard. 2 and 4, right? Don't make your life harder than it needs to be. Okay, but now we're back to 6x squared, 17x, and 5. So I put 30 together. 30, factors of 30 with a sum of 17. 1 and 30, 2 and 15. Hey, I'm done. 2 and 15. Again, we are going to take and we are changing the 17 into 2x plus 15x. So I'm going to use grouping. 6x squared plus 2x plus 15x plus 5. Group, group. Take out a 2x, 3x plus 1. Take out a 5, 3x plus 1. Magic? Nope. Math. 3x plus 1 comes out. 2x plus 5 remains, and there we have it. Check your work. 6x squared plus 15x plus 2x. Hey, where's the 15x and 2x? There they are. Whoop, there it is. And then plus 5, and you're good. Whoo! Ooh, negatives, negatives. If you stopped paying attention, start paying attention again. Turn off the Netflix. 24 times 3, positive 72, for a sum of negative 22. Oh, goodness. How do you multiply for positive and add for negative? Well, they both are probably negative. Negative 1 times negative 72. Grab your calculator. Negative 2 times negative 36. Grab your calculator. Negative 3 times negative 24. Grab your calculator. Negative 4 times negative 18. Grab your calculator. Negative 6 times negative 12. Grab your calculator. Negative 8 times negative 9. And some of you are like, hey, dummy, you got it. You got it back here, didn't you? I got it right here, didn't I? So all of these, so multiplying for a positive, adding for a negative, it needed to be a negative times a negative. Notice, this is negative 73, negative 38. Yeah, you get the picture. It's negative 4 and negative 18. Now, you gotta be careful here. 24x squared minus 4x minus 18x plus 3. These things, this negative 22x turns into those two, okay? Turns into those two. Now, you gotta be careful here. In fact, I'm gonna grab my eraser. Whenever you have two negatives like this, and I said this earlier, you want to have the negative 18x. Oh, I can't read that at all. Unbelievable. Green's awful. Negative 18x. Okay, so we group, and I got to put a plus in between. So whenever you have a negative on this next one over here, you got to keep it with it. So now we do the same thing. We take out a 4x, and we get 6x minus 1. And then we take out a negative 3, and we get a 6x, and we got to take a negative out of there, minus 1. So again, magic? Nope. Math. Isn't that great? 4x minus 3. And I'm rolling. Check your work, multiply it together. All right, here's a bunch of them. We can try a couple of them together. I'm going to leave this one because it's a plus and a plus. So I'm just going to start them. That would be 30 for 13. That would be 3 and 10, and they're both positive. 5x squared plus 10x plus 3x plus 6. Group, finish it on your own. Watch out over here now. 48, negative 48 for positive 22. So you got to be careful with that one. You're multiplying for a negative, adding for a positive. So this is going to be a negative 2 and a positive 24. They add up to positive 22. Here, pro tip, pay attention. If you have a negative and a positive, always put the negative one first. Then you don't have to worry about that little negative issue that we just talked about on the last problem. When we group, take out a 2x, 3x minus 1. Take out a, what do we take? 8, 3x minus 1. Oh, magic? No, math. 3x minus 1, 2x plus 8. That's great. Oh my gosh, look at, they all were divisible by 2. I could take another 2 out of here. I could end up with 2 times 3x minus 1 times x plus 4. What if you ended up with that? Because what if you ended up, oh my gosh, what if you ended up doing it a little differently and you ended up with 6x minus 2 times x plus 4. Oh my gosh, all those are the same thing. So you do need to be careful of those things there. Like all of these are divisible by 5. So you want to take the 5 out first and then factor this one. And then you would go from there. And this would be 12 for negative 7. 5 times 2y squared minus 3y minus 4y plus 6. And again, when you group like this, you got to have this one go together. So now this 5 is just all the way out on the outside. And I'd have a y and a 2y minus 3. And I'd have a minus 2 and a 2y minus 3. And I'd have 5 times 2y minus 3 times y minus 2. And there you go. Could be prime. Could be prime. First of all, I would view this one, well, let's just check it. 18 for 3. What do you multiply together for positive 18? Add together for positive 3. I think 6 and 3, but that adds up to 9, so I would need a negative. That's not going to work, so it's prime. Doesn't work. And there we go. Last one, negative 15, positive 7. Okay. Negative 15 for positive 7. Well, I got 1 and negative 15, negative 1 and 15. I got 3 and negative 5. I got negative 3 and 5. What are their other factors? This adds up to negative 14. This adds up to 14. This adds up to negative 2. This adds up to 2. I don't think I have any more factors of 5. It's going to be prime. That's it. Day 2 worksheet. Go to it. Go to it. It's going to be great.